Hi, I'm Jack Canfield with Success Profiles, and I want to welcome you to another one of our expert interviews. And I'm pleased to have in studio with me today Dr. Rakesh Sinha. Dr. Sinha is a laparoscopic and robotic surgeon, one of the world's leading experts on fibroids, and he holds 2 Guinness World Records, the laparoscopic removal of the world's largest fibroid and of the heaviest uterus. He's the past president of the Indian Association of Gynecological Endoscopists, and he's been a keen teacher and a laparoscopic trainer for nearly 2 decades. He's initiated the safe endoscopy movement in India. And Dr. Sinha is a licensed practitioner also of neuro-linguistic programming, better known as NLP, and he's also a marathon runner. And drawing from his surgical experiences in life and death situations, he motivates people to achieve excellence in their own professional and personal goals. He's been able to deconstruct success into simple, easy-to-grasp principles and components. And as a mind management expert, he has conducted workshops and programs for medical institutes, for corporations, and for management institutes. And he's trained CBI officers, that's the Central Bureau of Intelligence, like our FBI in the United States, and the senior police officers in India. And we're all anxiously awaiting the release of his new book, Anatomy of Success. So, C-section. You're cutting into somebody. Anatomy, you're going to cut open a cadaver and really take it down to its elemental parts and learn where's the kidney and what's underneath and all that stuff. You have written a book called The Anatomy of Success, and you're deconstructing success, taking it down to its basic elements, just like you would when you're working on a cadaver to learn how the body is and what's everything there. So what have you found? What are these elements, and how does that whole process work for you?
You know, when we start dissecting in the anatomy hall, when we cut open the cadavers, we actually go into the skeletal system, that is the bones and the muscles and the ligaments. We dissect the thorax and look at the heart and the arteries and the veins. We open the skull and look at the brain. We look at the renal system, the gastrointestinal system. So that's anatomy. When we look at the components of success, essentially there are 3 components. The first is biology, the second is the learned component, and the third is the cognitive component. So biology essentially means the genetic makeup. So sometime in April 2003, the complete genome has been mapped. So we know now that we have approximately 20,640 genes in the 23 pairs of chromosomes. Then we have anatomical centers, so we have various centers for, we'll come to that decision making, etc. And finally, there is neurophysiology. So we have neurochemicals, the so-called miracle chemicals, the neurotransmitters, which are there all over in the brain and the rest of the body. So that constitutes the biological component. Then we have the learned component. And Benjamin Barber said it beautifully. He said there are only 2 kinds of people. It's not the rich and the poor. It's not the educated and the uneducated. It's not the people living in the urban areas, the cities, and people in the villages. There are only 2 kinds of people, learners and non-learners. And it's been found that, the successful people are the learners. So when I chat up with you and, you learn so much about the Indian mythology, and we were just talking about the leaves in which the future and the past of everybody is written and all. And I see that element, and it's very simple to deduce which people are going to be successful. Chat with them. If they're learners, oh, they have a fantastic future. The third component is the cognitive component, also called volition. It's your thinking or your inner urge. It is this component which actually helps all of us to succeed. So you may not have you may not be very privileged genetically. You may not have had a brilliant upbringing, but if you have this inner urge to succeed, I think this component gets anybody to succeed. So those are the 3 components, after deconstructing the word success.